Hey friend, welcome back. Today we're talking about something every single one of us who lives alone eventually faces. Those evenings when you want a good, real dinner. But you absolutely don't want to deal with a mountain of dishes afterward. Trust me, I've been there way too many times, standing in the kitchen thinking, there has to be an easier way to eat well without turning my sink into a crime scene. So today, I'm sharing 10 one-pan dinners that are healthy, flavorful, and ridiculously easy. These are the meals that make you feel like you're taking care of yourself without needing to use every pot you own. Grab a seat, get comfy, and let's make dinner simple again. Number 1. The toss everything in chicken and veggie tray bake. This dish is the closest thing to cooking on autopilot. You literally toss everything on a baking sheet, drizzle it with some oil, sprinkle whatever herbs you like, and the oven does the rest. No fancy steps, no complicated timing, no sauté on low until fragrant instructions that feel like a test you didn't study for. The beauty of it is how forgiving it is. Chicken thighs are especially wonderful here because they don't dry out even if you forget them for an extra 10 minutes. And let's be honest, sometimes you do. 1 minute you're checking on the chicken. The next minute you're 3 videos deep into satisfying wood carving clips for reasons nobody fully understands. Everything cooks together. The chicken gets crispy and juicy, the vegetables get soft and caramelized, and the potatoes soak up all the flavor. And because everything shares the same pan, you get that magical mix of tastes. The way the tomatoes burst and juice themselves halfway through cooking, the way the peppers shrivel into sweet ribbons, the way the potatoes take on all that rosemary and garlic. A little trick that makes it feel like something you'd get in a cozy countryside restaurant is sliding a couple of lemon slices under the chicken. It perfumes the meat from below in this sneaky little way that makes you feel like a chef, even though all you really did was shove citrus under poultry. But hey, the result is delicious. The best part? Cleanup. You lift the foil or parchment paper like you're wrapping up a secret, toss it in the trash, rinse the pan, and boom. Done. You get to sit down sooner, relax sooner, and enjoy the rest of your evening without a sink full of, why are there 7 different dishes for one meal? Nonsense. 2. One-pan salmon with honey garlic broccoli. If chicken tray bake is your trusty everyday hero, salmon night is your treat yourself because I'm still fancy. Thank you very much moment. There's something about salmon that feels like you're doing something good for yourself. Maybe it's the omega-3s, maybe it's the pink color, maybe it's the fact that it cooks in under 20 minutes and still makes you feel like you've got your life together. But whatever it is, it just hits different. What makes this dish so great is that it's incredibly flavorful without requiring the kind of work that makes you sigh before you even begin. You just place the salmon on a pan, surround it with broccoli, and pour over this simple but magical mixture of honey, garlic, and soy sauce. The honey caramelizes the salmon, the soy gives it depth, and the garlic makes your kitchen smell like a warm hug. And broccoli in the oven? Listen, if you've only had steamed broccoli your whole life, roasted broccoli will have you questioning all your past vegetable decisions. It gets crispy at the tips, soft in the middle, and slightly sweet from the honey drip-off. It's the kind of broccoli that makes you go, okay, fine, maybe vegetables aren't so bad. The whole dish cooks in about 15 minutes, which is perfect for those evenings when you want a real meal, but you also want to be horizontal on the couch by 8 p.m. And because salmon is naturally tender, you don't have to worry about chewing like you're battling your dinner. It's soft, rich, and melts into the broccoli in a way that just feels comforting. Plus, there's very little mess. 1 pan and a small bowl to mix the sauce. That's it. And if you're feeling extra low energy, you can whisk the sauce right in the corner of the pan like a rebel. No judgment here. 3. Sheet pan sausage, cabbage, and apples. Now this one is a sleeper hit. It sounds strange when you first hear it. Sausage with cabbage and apples? You start questioning whether you're cooking dinner or conducting a science experiment. But trust me, the first time you try it, you'll understand why this combo gets so much love among seniors. The flavors are warm, comforting, and perfect for cooler evenings when you want something hearty without needing to be chained to the stove. Cabbage is the unsung hero of the senior kitchen. It's cheap, it lasts forever, and it cooks down beautifully when roasted. And unlike greens that turn bitter if you blink too long, cabbage actually gets sweeter the longer you cook it. When the edges start browning, that's when you know you've done something right. The sausage brings all the savory richness you need, especially smoked sausage, and it releases its juices as it cooks. Those juices seep into the cabbage, the onions, even the apples, seasoning everything naturally. It's the kind of meal where all the ingredients accidentally make each other better, like a team that finally figured out how to pass the ball. Now the apples might sound unusual, but that hint of sweetness is what makes this dish special. They soften like little pockets of warm, sweet flavor that pair perfectly with the salty sausage and mellow cabbage. And the mustard drizzle? Chef's kiss. It ties the whole thing together without being overpowering. And again, one pan. You chop, you toss, you season, you bake. Then you sit down and enjoy something that tastes like fall, comfort, and home, even if you're cooking just for yourself. It's the kind of dinner you make once and think, why didn't I know about this 20 years ago? 4. One-pan lemon herb tilapia with green beans. Tilapia is one of those foods that almost feels like cheating. It cooks fast, it tastes good even when you barely season it, and it's soft enough that you don't need the jaws of a lion to chew through it. And when you put it on a pan with green beans and lemon, oh friend, you suddenly feel like you know what you're doing in the kitchen. What makes this dish special is how light but satisfying it is. You lay the tilapia right on the pan, and the moment the lemon, butter, and herbs hit it, it soaks up everything like a sponge. The fish becomes tender and flaky, and it takes on this bright, sunny flavor that makes you feel like you're eating something fresh out of a seaside cafe. Not your kitchen on a random Wednesday evening where you're still deciding whether you want to wash the spoon you stirred your tea with. The green beans cook right beside the tilapia, which is great because they soak up all the lemony goodness. They get just the right amount of crisp and soft without you having to stand over a stove trying to babysit them. And if you want to make the dish feel extra special, you can toss in a few cherry tomatoes. They'll burst slightly in the heat, giving you little pops of sweetness. One of my favorite things about this meal is how effortless the whole process is. You're literally sliding a pan into the oven and walking away like you're the boss of dinner. No flipping, no stirring again because you didn't trust the first stir. None of that. And did I mention cleanup? It's practically non-existent. One pan, maybe a knife, and you're done. Perfect for nights when your energy is low, but you still want something wholesome without dipping into the, Maybe cereal counts as dinner. Territory. By the way, if you're watching this thinking, I wish someone would just plan all this for me. I've got you covered. I put together a simple 4-week meal plan with grocery lists. Nothing fancy, just real food laid out in a way that makes life easier. The link is in the pinned comment if you want to check it out. All right, now back to the meals. 5. One-pan ground turkey. Lazy cabbage roll dinner. The classic cabbage roll is beautiful. But let's be honest, it's also a time-consuming workout disguised as cooking. Boil the cabbage, mix the filling, roll it neatly, cook it again. By the time you're done, you've lived a whole lifetime. That's why the lazy cabbage roll dinner is pure genius. It gives you that same warm, comforting homemade flavor without all the ceremony. You just brown your ground turkey in a single pan, toss in chopped cabbage, pour in tomato sauce, season it generously, and let everything bubble together. As the cabbage cooks down, it softens into this lovely texture that blends right into the turkey and sauce. It tastes like a cozy, old-fashioned meal, the kind you eat when you want something that fills your stomach and warms your spirit at the same time. The real magic here is how everything melds. The tomato sauce gets richer, the cabbage gets sweeter, and the turkey absorbs all the flavors around it. And since it's all cooked in one pan, you don't lose those flavors to some pot you end up scrubbing later. Everything stays together, cooking in harmony like a little flavor family. A great little trick is to add the cooked rice right at the end. Not only does this save you the trouble of cooking the rice inside the pot, which can turn into mush if you're not careful, but it also gives you the perfect texture every time. No mushy mess, just a hearty, satisfying bite. This dish is also amazing for leftovers. You can portion it out, keep some in the fridge, freeze some for later, or eat it again the next day without it tasting like day-old food. In fact, it often tastes better the next day because the flavors settle in like they've finally unpacked their bags. If you like meals that feel like comfort food without being heavy or complicated, this one is a winner. 6. One-pan shrimp and veggie stir-fry. Shrimp is the superhero of I don't feel like cooking days. It cooks so fast that by the time you blink, you need to flip it. You barely get a chance to complain about being tired before dinner is ready. A stir-fry is one of the easiest ways to turn shrimp into a full, flavorful meal. All you need is a pan, some veggies, and a tiny bit of sauce, and you're halfway there. You toss everything into the pan, let the vegetables soften a little, add the shrimp, and watch the whole dish come together in minutes. The best part? Shrimp doesn't demand much from you. It doesn't need marinating, pre-cooking, or special attention. As long as you remember not to cook it for 10 hours, it will reward you with tenderness every single time. And because shrimp absorbs flavor so well, even a quick splash of soy sauce, garlic, or a ready-made stir-fry sauce turns it into something delicious. The vegetables are where you can have a little fun. You can use whatever is hanging around in your fridge: snap peas, carrots, mushrooms, bell peppers, even the veggies you bought with good intentions and then forgot about until they started giving you guilty looks. A stir-fry is basically a redemption arc for produce. This dish also gives you nice textures without making your jaw work overtime. The shrimp stays soft and juicy, the veggies give you a little crunch, and the sauce ties everything together. And if you want to keep things simple, which I know you do, you can serve it over microwave rice. No pot, no draining, no stress. And honestly, stir-fry feels lively. Like the kind of meal that reminds you you're still trying new things, still feeding yourself well, still living with intention. It's quick, colorful, and satisfying. The kind of dinner you make when you want something that tastes like you put in effort, even though you absolutely didn't. 7. One-pan sweet potato and black bean Fiesta bowl. The sweet potato and black bean Fiesta bowl is exactly what it sounds like. A vibrant little party happening on one pan, and you're the guest of honor. Sweet potatoes are the star here. Once they hit the oven, they soften into these warm, caramelized cubes that make you wonder why you ever doubted them. They bring a natural sweetness that pairs beautifully with the earthy flavor of black beans. And here's the secret. When you roast sweet potatoes with spices like cumin, paprika, or even a little chili powder, they develop this deep, smoky flavor that tastes like you put way more work into the dish than you did. Halfway through roasting, you toss in the black beans, corn, and onions so they warm up, crisp up, and take on some of that roasted goodness. When everything comes out of the oven, the colors alone will cheer you up. Yellows, oranges, blacks, purples if you used red onions. It's like your dinner decided it didn't want to be boring today. What I love most about this dish is how balanced it is. You get fiber, protein, vitamins, flavor, and a burst of energy without feeling weighed down afterward. It's hearty, but not heavy. The kind of meal that fills you without making you feel like you need to lie down and rethink your life choices. And if you want to take it from, wow, this is good, to, okay, Now, this is dinner. You can throw a dollop of Greek yogurt on top or slice up a bit of avocado. But honestly, even plain, straight out of the pan, it's delicious. It's also one of the easiest meals to store and reheat. The flavors get even better the next day, and if you want to turn it into a wrap or stuff it in a tortilla, you absolutely can. One dish, endless possibilities. Can't beat it. 8. One-pan pasta primavera. Yes, pasta in one pan. This one still shocks people the first time they try it. Pasta, cooked in one pan, with no draining, no juggling pots, no leaning over the sink trying not to splash hot water everywhere. It's almost too good to be true, but it works beautifully. The magic behind one-pan pasta is that the noodles cook in the same water and broth mixture as the vegetables, so they absorb all the flavor instead of losing it down the drain. Everything happens in one skillet, and the result is this creamy, silky sauce that forms naturally from the starches in the pasta. No cream needed. No cheese required, unless you want it. And let's be honest, you probably do. You start by tossing dry pasta straight into the pan along with cherry tomatoes, mushrooms, onions, spinach, or whatever vegetables you have on hand. As the pasta simmers, the tomatoes burst, the mushrooms soften, and the spinach wilts into everything like it's been preparing for this moment its whole life. The flavor builds layer by layer without any extra work. Halfway through cooking, you can smell everything melding together, that cozy aroma that tells you dinner is on its way. And because the pasta is cooking right next to the vegetables, you get this harmony of textures and tastes that feels almost restaurant level. Nobody has to know you did it in your pajamas with the TV playing in the background. The best part is that you don't need to worry about timing multiple pots. Everything finishes at the same moment. You turn off the stove, maybe throw in a handful of frozen peas if you want a little sweetness, and let the heat finish the job. And clean up? One skillet, that's it. You finish eating, rinse the pan, and walk away like a champion. No straining water, no sauce splatters, no juggling. It's the kind of meal that makes you feel clever for finding a shortcut that didn't sacrifice taste. 9. Mediterranean one-pan chicken with olives and tomatoes. If you've ever wanted dinner to taste like a vacation, without the plane ticket, long lines, or tiny hotel kettles, this Mediterranean chicken is your gateway. It's bright, bold, and full of flavor, but still incredibly simple. The idea is straightforward. Chicken thighs go in the pan, surrounded by cherry tomatoes, olives, garlic, and a little drizzle of olive oil. As everything cooks, the tomatoes burst and release their juices, creating this naturally tangy, savory sauce that coats the chicken. The olives give you that salty punch that somehow makes every bite richer, deeper, and more addictive. The dish smells amazing as it cooks too, like something you'd order at a cozy taverna overlooking the water. It's the perfect mix of rustic and elegant. And because the chicken thighs have more flavor and moisture than chicken breasts, you don't have to stress about overcooking. They stay juicy, tender, and deeply seasoned without you hovering like a helicopter chef. What makes this meal even better is how hands-off it is. Once everything is on the pan, that's it. The oven takes over, the flavors mingle, and you get to relax. When you pull it out, you'll see the edges of the tomatoes caramelized, the olives glistening, and the chicken sitting right in the middle like the star it is. You can eat it as is, or scoop it over microwave rice, or even pair it with a slice of crusty bread to soak up the juices. It feels like comfort and adventure at the same time. A dish that lifts your mood without demanding any extra energy. 10. One-pan baked egg frittata for dinner. Ah, the frittata, the unsung hero of the I want something easy, warm, soft, and satisfying dinner world. People think eggs are just for breakfast, but honestly, a frittata makes a fantastic dinner, especially when you want something comforting but not heavy. You whisk up a few eggs, toss in whatever veggies you have around, spinach, tomatoes, onions, even leftovers, and pour the mixture into an oven-safe pan. It bakes up light and fluffy, like a gentle cloud of protein that fills you without overwhelming you. The top gets slightly golden, the inside stays soft, and every bite feels warm and soothing. The best thing about a frittata is that it adapts to your mood. If you want something simple, keep it plain. If you're feeling a little fancy, sprinkle in cheese. If you're trying to clean out your fridge, toss in anything approaching retirement age. It all works. And let me tell you, the ease of it during dinner time is unmatched. There's no flipping, no delicate timing, no standing over a pan trying not to scramble the eggs. Once it's in the oven, you're free. You could check your messages, stretch your back, or just lean on the counter and listen to the quiet. The frittata doesn't need babysitting. It just becomes delicious on its own. It also reheats beautifully the next day. You can slice it, wrap it, store it, and enjoy it again without feeling like you're eating leftovers. It's soft, flavorful, and gentle on sensitive teeth or small appetites. Perfect for seniors who want nourishment without effort. And honestly, there's something about eating eggs for dinner that feels a little rebellious, like you're breaking a tiny harmless rule and getting away with it. All right, my friend, that wraps up our list of healthy one-pan dinners that actually make life easier, especially when you're cooking for just you. No stress, no complicated steps, no sink overflowing with dishes. Just real food, real comfort, and real flavor. If you found even one recipe here that you're excited to try, go ahead and hit that like button. And if you want more simple, uplifting tips that make life a little smoother, make sure you subscribe and stick around. We've got plenty more good stuff coming. Thanks for hanging out with me today, and I'll see you in the next one.